Hello there and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to show you a gameplay in the Object 120 that I had today, and it was the first tank gameplay that I had again in quite a while. I'm very excited to show it to you, not so much because of the kills, but because of the reward, and because, you know, it was a nice change in terms of pace. The Object 120, I have a full-fledged tank review for you that is a few months old. It's still up to date. It still covers the main aspects of the tank: mobility, protection, and especially the firepower. And in a nutshell, you have mobility compared to a Leopard 1. You even have neutral steering, which is unheard of in the Soviet tech tree. Then, you know, armor. It is a bit bouncy around the turret. I've bounced here 128mm rounds. Mobility, as you can see, approaching 18 kilometers an hour, 18 horsepower to ton ratio. Sorry about this. 64 kilometers an hour top speed. Reverse speed is decent. And then when we look at the ammunition, the Heat FS round of this massive 152mm M69 long-barreled smooth-bore gun offers you 480mm of penetration, and the splash damage alone from the 6.5 kilograms of TNT equivalent is stronger than of the 152mm HE round. The post penetration damage effect is there, 1000 meters per second muzzle velocity. It's great, but the actual selling point is the 152mm APDS FS long rod penetrator. I assume it's a long rod penetrator because for 710 meters per second muzzle velocity, which is nice, it offers you 405 millimeters of penetration against flat armor. But at 60 degrees angle of attack, we are not below but above half that value. So that is a quick indicator of positive normalization. The post-penetration damage effect is really nice. The combination with the 10-second autoloader with the long-range capabilities thanks to the scope and muzzle velocity makes it easy to aim, and I think that just shows off what the tank's capabilities are. It is kind of a long-range expert compared to some of the more brawly short distance tanks that the Soviets offer at this battle rating, and that is the first part about this tank. Again, I have a tank review out there. It's a sniper, it doesn't have armor, it has no stabilizer. But why? Why does this tank not get a battle rating increase? Gaijin has recently announced that a lot of the tanks will see a increase in battle rating. In particular, the German Leopards get a massive up tier from 8.3 to 9.0, from 9.0 to 9.7, from 9.7 to 10.0. And that's just the 3 Leopards. Some other tanks get as well an up tier, as well as some of the Americans. And yeah, also the, well, at least the Type 90 get a battle rating increase. Some tanks get to 10.0. So this is a decompression patch. But if this is really the long-awaited decompression patch, why the hell not move the T62, which has stock AP FSDS, and the Object 120 a bit up? 8.0, 8.3 for the Object 120, 8.3 at least for the T62. I don't understand here, because, you know, with the T62 the stock grind is doable, and the Leopard A1A1 stock grind to the AP FSDS, which is the selling point and the reason for its up tier. I don't quite agree with that perspective, but you know, top tier is top tier. Everybody should know my opinion, and having said that, now it's about time to show you the gameplay. So we are on Poland, and the Russian forces, are coming from the west, and the German forces are coming from the east. So much for Gaijin's historical accuracy. Oh man, you just have to laugh at those jokes. So we are fighting the Germans, and I played with the thought of spawning in the southern spawn point and then doing the long range counter sniping into B. You know, B is for the Russians. Regardless where you spawn, and honestly, this map has some auto-fighting conditions around about C. So, the western spawn normally spawns in the north, or the majority of them, and they capture A, and they have a very easy time capturing it and also defending it. They have literally the high ground, and when Anakin comes from the east, well, he's in the open, he's easy picking, and he has the low ground without cover and a long distance to travel. So we have all here the memes that are served, so take your time, enjoy them. The same goes for the eastern team when it comes to B. It's faster to reach, you have cover there and you can defend it, while a lot of the team that's coming then from the southwest spawn is more or less in the open and easy to pick off. So the only two chances that the northeast team has is to go into cover and to go for the B line, whereas the same conditions apply for the southwest team going on the I line. Eyeliner? So the thing is, oh man, you know, bad jokes are free on this channel. My plan was to go into a sniping position, but as it turns out, this was not really something that was working out in the beginning. So the beginning will show you how patient I can be. That does not mean that I want to be patient. I'm a very aggressive guy in my playstyle. I just want to go forward. I want to fight around the caps. I want to kill the enemy, you know, guts and glory and all this. The thing is, I saw some movement here, and despite the 5 degrees of gun depression, I can work here. That was very hastily aimed because of the low visibility, and now I regret it because while I have 10-second reload, which is not slow, I mean, compare it to the Jagdtiger, compare it to the T-95, compare it to some other old school tank destroyers, I have here an autoloader. But again, it's kind of the switching times where you come to really quick reloads. I mean, talk about the Chieftain compared to the Conqueror, you know. I know the details of the techniques, but for gameplay purposes, the difference is enormous. It's huge, and it is very often decisive. So I try my best here into B. My team is mostly protecting here A, and some of them are making their way into C. Now, if you camp, you have to have a reason for your camping. If you just cover a certain area where the enemy team might come through, so that you have actually a value for your team. And at some point, when that time is gone, or the enemy just doesn't show up, you must reposition. Now, when I say a tank is bad or good, I'm bringing here up my experience in the gameplay. Not every map is suited for every tank, hence we have a map rotation, at least in theory. We should also divide the maps for their high tier capabilities and their low tier capabilities. I think Karelia is a nice fun tank match map for lower tiers, but not for higher tiers. And the same goes for Fulda Gap. You shouldn't play on this map like also on the full scale sized Maginot Line map with reserve tanks. The combat distances are not suitable. The mobility very often is not suitable. And as well, I digress, you know, to get city map after city map. Now, in the beginning, I talked about, you know, A and B being very easy to capture for the respective side. And then it goes into C. C is the decisive capture point, because it is the second of two that you have to get. And so obviously it ends up on this big map. It ends up in a city brawl. And I have to fight tanks that have armor, that have mobility, that have stabilizers, and a higher rate of fire that in theory can hull break me. Yeah, in the beginning I wanted to work around this with some long range fire, with ambush, but the enemy just didn't show up. And now I have to go into the city. So that is an issue. But in the beginning, I was patient. But the actual fact, the actual matter of a fact is that the enemy team doesn't work its way around B. That's a possibility. Yes, I know there is the lake and you're very long in the open, but I've done this myself. And then you can work your way into the side of the city. You can make some overwatch fire, and you also can come from the rear of the enemy team and surprise them from behind. And that must be really, really terrifying if then around the sniper hill are coming a few Leopard A1A1s. So now I am in a short range engagement scenario versus tanks with stabilizer, faster rate of fire, and ammunition that can hull break me, that also have a faster turret rotation speed. We'll see how that works out. So throwing all my advantages, or a good portion of my advantages, aside because of what the map design and the flow of the battle dictates. And this is what I think is a bit of a problem with the map design, forcing certain tanks into situations that they were never designed, never intended for. This is a problem since the very beginning, and I just don't agree with it. So far, I think I have taken one shot. One. And that's all. So we are already, what, 7-8 minutes into the game, and I've done nothing. I've done literally nothing. I was not really useful for my team. There are so many tankers out there. There are so many players that are already out. Gaijin, I did not hit that lamppost. I did not hit that lamppost. And there are some basic problems that are broken in this game that you don't have the time to talk about, because then suddenly you will face a Leopard. And I didn't quite hit him hard enough, and the next shot is overled, and yeah, the shell just goes through the turret without doing damage because the crew member was still dead. Now I have another problem with this tank, and that is that it doesn't have any sort of machine gun. It doesn't have any sort of secondary weapon at all. And that requires you to be forced to use, in most situations, the AP FSDS round. We'll see later on in the results how that affects my income. And then I saw some movement. I predicted where the enemy was going, and it is the SPA of the Japanese, the Type 87. He maneuvered, and then I saw the movement. I could perfectly aim for him and just kill it. From his perspective, that looked like hacks, but I saw some pixels moving. You can see I'm playing here with very high resolution. Then I saw some movement there, and what is that? What is that? Well, it is a Leopard A1A1, and he just bounced off my gun barrel. Now I did here a mistake of actually going back and not finish him off, because I could have killed him there. I killed the loader, he already shot, so I could beat his reload no matter what. But I thought of that too late, and then I saw some action going on, and now I kill the other tank with the third shot. So much for its long-range one-shot capabilities. But yeah, the problem is that very often you cannot use the heat shell, which would have splashed both tanks with one shot. So I see the antenna, and I don't want to pick this fight versus a tank that has a stabilizer that just could straight up charge me, and with the hash or with the heat he could hull break me. So he's going for me, he's looking the other direction, and bless him, he tries to side scrape. He literally oh my god. By that time, people should learn that side scraping doesn't even work with a Tiger 1 or a Tiger 2 against this gun. Or similar guns. So why do they try it in a Leopard? I have no words for that. So now I just reposition myself again and go closer to defending C. My team is now spread out more. Some of them try to go around the lake to get B, but it's a bit too early as the enemy team is still strong with their numbers. So you very often have to press the tab key to look at how your teams are faring well. And there is a mouse, and I didn't really aim quite well, but against the angled upper frontal glacis I penetrated and he was still on fire, so that is why I didn't get here a fire. Then I hit here a very interesting spot and I go through the turret without doing any sort of damage. I hit here the multiple layers and they tend to absorb a lot of the spalling or shrapneling from the long rod penetrator. And then, well, I hit him, but it was too late. And while I was busy pummeling this mouse, oh, bless him, yeah, C got captured. That is not a good sign. I want to go in, and now I get information because I do not flip the cap. That means that the enemy is still in there. I'm not quite sure if he gets any message for that. I don't think so. So I now try to ambush him. I think I'm coming from an unexpected angle. And surely enough, where is he? Where is he? He must be here somewhere. Oh, hello, sunshine. Yeah, that is now the third kill. Or the fourth, actually. It's the fourth, yeah. And so I'm here capturing the point. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to show the gameplay is the insane reward that I get at the end. So, this is a tier 5 premium. It has the premium status, of course. And also, I have a premium account together in this battle with a 150% research points booster. That means it's worth winning this game. So now we have a massive points advantage. There are still a lot of tanks out there. My team might capture B, but we still need to defend C. And so I take my sweet time to refill some ammunition. I'm not quite sure how long this battle might last, but yeah, I mean, there is now a Gepard that is picking off some planes. I'm looking at the minimap. I'm try to rely on my experience. Where might the enemy come from? What is the enemy planning? They are forced to cap. And now, if you look at the minimap, there is nobody anymore around A. And we have not captured B. We are still in possession of 2 capture points. And now it's really... Where is this guy firing? I have no idea. But now my spider senses are tingling a little bit. This is something that you cannot really explain. It's pure game experience. It's the sixth sense that you have. Something's not right. There are still too many enemy tanks, and now they are capturing A. So I actually moved before that happened. I pinged the map, and now one problem happens. A lot of the tanks are now in a position and in a mindset of defending C, the tanks that are in C, that they just swing their tank around and run towards A. That sometimes happens, and then they are just offering their side and go into a wrong position. I tried to play it a bit different and try to go between the houses in such a way that I still can have cover, but still have some potential view into A. Now the enemy is in possession of 2 capture zones, but we still have enough time. So make sure that you arrive there in time to make a difference, but don't rush in blindly. This is a very important lesson, and very often you just forget it. You have all this knowledge about penetration and reload and armor and game mechanics, and then you just make one little mistake, one foolish decision, and all goes south or north of the wall. I don't know. Again, bad jokes are free on this channel. So there is somewhere an ATGM. He is somewhere close and he can definitely hull break me. And what is that? Oh. That was luck. Well, I saw some movement, reacted very, very quickly, far faster, or much faster than I could describe here. I see the mouse and I'm in visual cover from him. I'm not quite sure if he even could see me if he would use the camera angles. I reverse here and I see the movements, and then what the hell? What the hell? What the actual fuck was that, Gaijin? They really need to fix their stuff. I did not even hit the mouse, but I clearly aimed at him. I'm not quite sure if he knows that I'm there. But now he's angled the turret in such a way that I can reverse in time, and before he can do anything about it, I just murder my way through the angled side armor of a mouse and M-rack him. And that was really nasty. He took so long to go here. And then I just one-shot him. And I feel really this should not be the case. This tank should not face a mouse on the same battle rating. So now I know that there is a German SPA around, a Gepard. And I just want to look around. Where is he? But I just don't want to end up being in the open, but I need to hurry. We are about to win and I want to make another kill. So the Gepard is somewhere there. He must be close, but he is in cover, but I don't want to die at the end. I don't want to throw away the potential survivor. Come on, come on. Where are you? Where are you? And then I look around, look to my right, and what is that? What the hell is that? And there you can see that I actually hit this guy. And now I reload a heat, but it's too late. I might have splashed so much more or I might have splashed him with a big damage output with the heat FS, but it was not to be. Now let's have a look at the result. 61,000 civil lines and 14,000 vehicle research points, ripping out a good chunk of the T62M1's research progress for 6 kills, 4 critical hits, 13 hits overall, and 1 capture zone, and winning the game with a 150% bonus. It could have been more with a bigger bonus, but you never know. You mean you pick a big booster and then you are the first one to get killed. It's always like this. And the profit, well, there you can see the ammunition costs of 13,000 silver lines. Yes, I was a bad boy. I picked the, a lull pen, a low skill ammunition. But again, you cannot shoot through fences, you cannot shoot through obstacles of any sort, or, carports, trees, bushes with the heat FS, which, when it comes to some of the splash damage, is better in many situations than the AP FSDS. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.